to a very special expert interview here at AGENTWOW. Today we've got Lawrence Bond from BondMoran, recruiters in, and it's very easy to get carried away with marketing your business, marketing for stock, marketing to sell homes. What you probably don't always think about is how do you market your agency to potential staff? And that's quite a big thing this day and age because, let's face it, the people make the party, and that's very true with estate agents, where you're in a service-based industry and you want the best people to help you to grow. How are you doing, Lawrence? You all right?
Good, very good.
Fantastic. When we talk about marketing for people, obviously there's a million things we can touch upon in terms of the size of the business, the scope of it, the strength of the brand, but actually it's not all about being the biggest player.
Not at all. You need a very clear vision, you need unique selling points, but the marketing and the way the brand is portrayed, it's a different message going out to potential customers and employees, but it has to be consistent and it has to excite people. The way we look at it when we recruit, we go to the market where the candidates are. We go to their space. And you look at most generations now, they're on social media. If you want to get in front of someone, most people, they wake up in the morning, they check Facebook. They might check LinkedIn on a business sense.
Very true.
If they're on a train on the way to work.
So part of attracting staff and part of marketing your business to new staff is incentivizing new staff, incentivizing staff to come on board and incentivizing staff whilst they're with you. But from what I understand, that's more than just a money thing.
Oh, 100%. If you look at any of the current surveys and you ask people why they move jobs or why they join a new firm, it's not money driven. That's not the... Obviously money's important, we've all got the bills to pay, but there's so much more to why you would go to a new business than money. And it might be the work-life balance, it might be the team that you're joining, and they're not just workmates, they're people that you spend most of your life with, so you need to get on with them and get on with these people. There's so many factors at play here that money isn't the main motivator if you ask most people. They want job satisfaction and they want to join a brand that they believe in, and that's where it comes back to marketing.
It's interesting, you touched on the work-life balance.
Yep.
We do a lot here with social media, with agents, and a lot of people use social to not just say, hey, we've got this stock on the market, or we're doing this, we're doing that, but a lot of kind of internal stuff. Hey, we've just done a fun run. Hey, look, we're out on the town. Look, we've done really well. I'm guessing that a lot of that is an attraction when you're looking at staff.
Of course, you're selling a lifestyle. You're saying if you come and join our business, our estate agency or our business, whatever sector it's in, this is what your life will be and this is how it will be improved. So whether it's a time issue, I mean, we're a small player in the recruitment market, but I've done this for 20 years. And there's a lot of large players that work from very early to very late, and our way of dealing with that is a 4.5-day week. It gives people a work-life balance, they've got young families, they've got interests outside of work, and we're actually supporting some of those interests on their half-day off each week. And that's our little USP, but it's not about being big, it's about giving people something more than just a job.
So we're talking about the 4.5-day week,
Yep.
and we're talking about marketing for people. Is that something that you would actively promote in the search of that person? Would you market around the fact that there is this balance? Is that a great way to attract staff?
Absolutely. Look, marketing is important, whether it's for staff, whether it's for customers, and you've got to look at what are your USPs. And it's no different whether you're an estate agency, recruitment, or when we're representing businesses in different sectors. What are your USPs? What is the life going to be if you join us? And you play to your strengths. So it could be on quality of service, it could be on a number of factors, but absolutely, it's all marketing.
And in terms of actually marketing that, in terms of putting that in front of someone before they've come to work for you.
Okay, so when people go to work for a new business, most people like to think they've got development. Most people like to think their careers are going to go somewhere. So sell the opportunities as well. Realise, and this comes down to social media as well. If you do a great training day, get your guys to actually promote it on their Facebook or on whatever social methods you're using. Talk about the fun things that you do that you mentioned before. And again, a lot of companies do that, but not enough organisations highlight how people have developed, the journey they've gone on, where they started, where they're going to. And that creates not only loyalty from your existing employees, it makes people want to be part of that. So it's about the lifestyle, it's about how you're actually developing as a professional, whatever sector that's in.
So what we're actually talking about is using the social channels, using the advertising channels, using all the normal marketing medium you would do to not just try and sell or acquire, but actually promote what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, what your staff are doing, and other people within the industry, peers, whatever that may be, sees that and thinks, do you know what, I want to work there.
Absolutely. It gets people interested, but it also reinforces to your existing team why it's a great place to be. And getting them involved in whether it's online videos, whatever method you're using, it's all reinforcing to your existing team what a great place this is. It's sending out a message to competitors. It's sending out a message to people looking to get into the industry. And again, you choose your message and you get your team to articulate it. And you do need to have a very clear vision that comes from the top. But if your team can reinforce that's you practice what you preach, there's nothing better.
So now we move on to the retention element of things, which isn't a marketing to attract people, but it's keeping good people. And I guess if you've kept good people, you'll attract more good people.
100%. If you can turn to social media again and talk about some of your retention techniques, that's going to attract people who are having a bad week in the office, a bad month. Things happen. With someone who, if you've kept in touch with your competitors and built relationships, they will have a bad day, a bad week, a bad month. And if they can see that you've got stability and a happy workforce.
So what are the kind of things that would go on social media that would kind of cause that effect?
Part of it comes down to understanding the motivation of your team. Everyone's going to be motivated by something else. Now, for some people, it might be that they're saving up to buy a property, a car. They want to take the trip of a lifetime. Understand what that is. And if you know what their motivation is for coming into work, because if they won the lottery, they probably wouldn't, then you're in a position to help them achieve that and shout about successes. And it might be small incentives. It might be lunch clubs, dinner clubs. It might be going on trips abroad. But if you understand people's real motivation, not just the small things that make it fun, but where they want to get to. And it could be a learning curve. It could be, as I say, something they want to achieve, to purchase, but understand what that is. And then when people are getting there and they're getting rewarded, shout about it on your social, shout about it on your website, and that attracts people. It engages people who work for competitors in your own business, and also shows your customers that you practice what you preach. You look after people.
And the small things that make it fun as well, which you just kind of threw in there, I'm guessing that is brilliant social media fodder and probably incredibly important for building up what you were talking about with this kind of journey, this career journey.
Absolutely. Small things can be a note on someone's PC just saying well done on that call, but equally it can be a photo you've had framed for them that you know is important. It can be something that's taken a bit of time but doesn't have to be expensive. And again, all of these things, if you put them on social, it talks to a very wide market, and from our side that's about candidate attraction, engagement, retention.
Because you spend most of your day at work, I suppose, except for that half day, but you spend most of your day at work, so having the team, making it fun, doing these little things just makes it more of a I'm happy to come to work, why don't you come to work here and you'll be happy like me scenario.
We've all been there, and if you're the owner of a business, you're driven maybe by slightly different factors than if you're an employee of the business. But of course it's got to be somewhere you go where you feel that you're achieving something and making a difference, and actually it's fun. So that might come down to the environment, it might come down to the look of the office, the feel of the office, but really it's got to be a little bit more than that.
So what we're not doing is saying to a company, hey, you need someone in accounts, quick, let's flood social media with loads of pictures of Jenny's desk and George's photo frames, because that's not going to work.
No. Recruitment has to be an ongoing process. It's not an event. And that's where a lot of companies, whether they're recruiting in our space for account staff, or whether it's for people to work within a state agency, the companies that have the most success are the ones that are seeing it as an ongoing process, that have got a consistent message going out, whether it's on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, whatever social media medium you use. But it has to be ongoing and it has to be consistent. It has to send out the same message. If you do just advertise a vacancy, it's a standing start. You're reliant upon that person looking at that moment in time and happening to see your message. And realistically, you have a chance,
Of course.
but it doesn't happen very often. So if you can keep it a consistent message that's going out on various different medium, but it's an ongoing process, that's key to successful recruitment and growing your business.
I suppose it's almost like creating a story like you would do in your business, but
Exactly
a story
that.
of a fun place, of whatever that person wants their job to be, but building that up to the point where they want to work there before you know they want to work
Of course
with
it's a
you.
story. It's the journey. You join a company for the journey, whether it's a personal journey, whether it's development, whether it's buying into the brand, you're buying into a journey.
So we're talking about getting our company all over the social mediums, websites, magazines, PR, whatever that may be, but from a slightly different angle, that this is a place to work, so we're attracting those new employees. What are the kind of things that you'd put out there? Where would you do it? When would you do it? What is it that works?
So if you look on LinkedIn, at a company on page on LinkedIn, so many companies now are just saying, we're recruiting, and they think that people are going to fall over themselves to apply. And it doesn't work like that. Again, it's about selling the story, the journey that you're going to go on, and different medium are going to work for different people. But I would encourage LinkedIn and Facebook as, depending on the demographics and the makeup of a team. Facebook tends to talk to people on a personal level, LinkedIn on a business level, and I'd approach both of those.
Okay. And when we think about LinkedIn, Facebook, we're not doing the standard recruitment ad stuff here. What we're talking about is talking about the company and how much fun it is to be at the company, or what the perks are, or how this person has enjoyed their career here and developed. So this obviously takes time to build up that story.
It comes back to what I said about it being an ongoing process. And one of the mistakes that a lot of businesses make in all different sectors, estate agency being one of them, is they'll sit down and the people writing the advert will generally be the owners or senior people within the business. They believe it's the best place to work because they work there and they've been part of growing it. But what they don't do is think, how does this differ from the next agency who's advertising for people to work in their business? Or they don't look at competitor adverts.
And obviously, if you've spent the time, or your employees have spent the time tweeting, posting, talking about how great this place to work is, by the time you have to write your job advert when something comes up, they've obviously already seen this chain of events and how great this company is, and you're obviously a more attractive place to work.
100%. It's something that not many employers try, is get your staff, get your team to write an advert for you. Ask them why they would work there. Maybe have some comments from existing team members about what a great place it is to work. That's not something you see on a regular basis, but if you have created this culture where people are engaged, developed, and get what they want from this journey, then you utilise that when you're trying to attract new staff.
And would you do that when you're not trying to attract new staff? Say, for example.
100%.
Is there any last few tips that you want to give to our audience?
I think the biggest thing that I can say is you're always, or you should always be looking for staff. And it doesn't matter where you are, your message should be consistent, it should be continuous, and it should grow your network. You should always encourage more followers on your social media channels, and then your message reaches more people. You should increase your network, which any way you can, and make sure it's, as the biggest thing I can say is think like the candidates, and make sure it's an ongoing process and not an event.
So what you're saying is, even if you're not looking for staff, keep that journey, those posts going, so by the time you are looking for staff, they already want to work.
You should always be looking for staff. And even if you're not ready to take someone on, you build the rapport, the relationship, the reputation. And again, it all comes down to marketing, but you should be growing your little black book of people that you can pick up the phone when you need staff. But if a good person comes up, depending on what you want to achieve with your business, sometimes you have to make space for someone when the time's right, when they've had that bad week, but that only happens if it's an ongoing process of consistent marketing, sending out the same message.
And people thinking that they want to work for you.
That's what you want. You want the market looking at you with envious eyes, thinking, what has that guy got? But it doesn't happen overnight. It happens with an ongoing process of building this reputation.
So, just very quickly, you have a fantastic working environment. You've got a great team. Everyone loves working for you. You incentivise all the time. Dinners, trips, holidays, and it's a 4.5 day week.
Yep.
Got any jobs?
You need the personality, Dan.